This is where tragedy struck in Kansas City. It's shortly after 9 o'clock, the morning of Tuesday, August 18th, 1959. The location, busy Southwest Boulevard on the Kansas side of the Missouri-Kansas line. This is what is left of a service station and bulk gasoline storage plant. The fire has been raging for an hour. It apparently began when two men were loading gasoline into a tank truck on the service station drive. These three men later died. The heat of the fire, combined with a fierce heat from the sun, made the fire line an extremely hot place. 19 companies from both Kansas City, Kansas and Kansas City, Missouri were there. Many had fallen, more were to fall before this one was whipped. The high number of injuries brought a call for all available ambulances in greater Kansas City. Linemen from utility companies had to sever burning wires, which were further endangering the firefighters. Still, the fire raged, although the firemen had been able to keep the flames away from the huge gasoline tanks. Each of these tanks had 21,000-gallon capacity. That was where the big fight was centered. The firefighters used fog nozzles to reduce the water to a fine spray, to smother the fire, and to try to keep the tanks cool. Here, the camera saw the fire from the fireman's point of view. At this point, deadly gasoline was 74 feet straight ahead. These also are about to be fatal victims of the fire. Searing heat blistered the faces of these men. They had to leave the fire line every few minutes and seek relief from the heat. Then back to the grim business of protecting our city. For some, the final face washing of their lives. Danger was everywhere. Suddenly, the flames brightened. It was apparent the fire had eaten its way to one of the big tanks. The fireball that went up was evidence the fire had found a new fuel supply. Minutes ago, firemen had the situation under control. In seconds, they'll be running for their lives. One explosion and a fireball, followed by another, sent the flames hundreds of feet into the air, visible for 15 miles in all directions. This was dangerous. Still, the firemen stayed at their posts. They continued to battle this giant, which now threatened to consume them. The roar of the flames was similar to the sound of a large jet airplane. Fire experts say this was a stream of liquid fire spewing out the back of a tank, which was already badly ruptured. Fire chiefs ordered their men back, but sadly, not in time. And there it goes. The flames engulfed 6 firemen who tried to run. They couldn't get away from this inferno. They tripped as they tried blindly to get away. Assistants knocked some of them down and tried to beat out the flames. Their screams will haunt many men for many years to come. Ambulances, which had waited in line, now rushed into the fire area. As quickly as injured firemen could be dragged from the flames, they were rushed to hospitals. 12 were hurt critically. 6 of them were to die in the few days following this tragedy. Doctors, firemen, and police crowded around the casualties. For those less seriously hurt, first aid was given, so that ambulances might take the most critically injured first. The faces of some were so badly burned, oxygen couldn't be administered. 6 received the last rites of the Catholic Church at the scene. 2 of these men lived only 3 hours. 4 others lived as long as 6 days. Others were less seriously hurt, but would have to be hospital patients for some time.